Chronicles and Confessions. We've got Soban Kuruvikar here with us. Hello, Soban. Could you introduce yourself and your journey, please?
Hi, Tim. Thank you for inviting to the show. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Soban Kuruvikar, and I'm co-founder of Gooner Technologies, LLC. Um, so I have been in EPM for the past 20 odd years. Um, as everyone, I happen to be in the right place at the right time to get into the EPM journey. Although most of it was my curiosity in product development, and I was an ETL developer in data warehousing domain, and been using an amazing tool called Ab Initio, which is the best ETL tool in the market, even 25 years ago. And that led to a big question, a curiosity in my mind of what people think and how the process of building a tool which helps so many people in so many different ways. So I always had that curiosity. So when the opportunity knocked, I had an opportunity to pursue my career in ETL in a much larger area and projects. And On the other side, I had an opportunity to join a company who were doing product development. So I joined Symphony Services in Bangalore, which was at the time partnering Siebel Analytics to uh, uh, develop and test their products in Siebel Stable. And after a few months, I found out that that was not something I was expecting because the tool was pretty stable. My role was pretty limited in terms of what I could learn from it. Everything was almost same because it's analytics. I was from ETL
Yes.
background. Everything was same thing, data warehousing background stuff. But I learned quite a bit in that. And then there was a new project which was acquired by Symphony Services, where they partnered with Hyperion Solutions to
Right.
develop. And instantly I said, I want to be part of that. And I wanted to join the bandwagon. That's when I started to know what is EPM for the first time and what it is. And I think since then it's been a very good journey. That's 20 odd years with multi-generation changes in EPM world.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. So, in terms of EPM, have you had any kind of misconceptions in what you do in terms of explaining to others?
Oh yeah. So I could not tie down a single liner which could explain to anybody what is EPM is, even after so many years. So even in an room full of techies, if I say I'm from EPM, there's like, what is that? And if I say enterprise performance management, they'll say, ah, you're the infrastructure guy who's here to improve the
Mm,
performance of our servers. Like, no, so I'm not from the hardware side. I'm from the software. Okay, and they're like, oh, so you're the programmer who's gonna improve our Java
mm.
program. No, so then I would say, so I came up with simple line now. I would say I help people plan better in their finance. Uh, so people say, oh, you're the accountant. I said, yeah, but kind of, sort of. Uh,
Yeah, sure, sure.
so
That sounds right. So, could you tell of a significant EPM challenge you've had and how you dealt with it?
so in all the years I have been working, the one thing I realized is that EPM has always been on the shadows of other tools, ERP, CRM,
Mm,
BI. The people who, the customer or the people who are involved in the decision making, they see EPM as a stepbrother in the stepbrotherly treatment.
yeah.
They think that that's not something very important, crucial, because it's not a um, business critical system, but
Sure.
it's a system which can help the business, but not a business critical. So I think with that in mind, when I talk to to customers or anybody in general, they say, so there is no such thing called standard. You don't have anything which is like you plug and play and those sort of things. And even during the project phase, uh, people fail to realize that this is a platform which can help them in many ways. People expect everything to be linear
Yeah.
in step by step. They say day one I see one thing, a table or a column, and next day I have another column into the
Mm.
table. That's how people realize EPM to work. But unfortunately, or fortunately, EPM is much bigger than that, and when it deals with challenges in multidimensional way, uh, there are very people who really see the benefit of it. It's basically an art. I mean, for me, a project in EPM is always an art where you get a blank canvas to start with. I don't think
Sure.
anybody could say that in a ERP or a CRM domain because they have to follow certain format.
Sure. Sure. So could you share a standout success you've had in EPM that you can share with the audience?
Oh, yeah. Over the years, I had a lot. To begin with, the product development, when I worked with product development, there were tight deadlines. When we were used to work in Hyperion solution, everything was like pretty fast paced.
Yeah.
Uh, you work hard, play hard kind of rule. So many things. But one thing that stands out is um, 3 years ago, we worked with a Finnish customer who did not speak English, and we do not
Oh,
speak Finnish, right? So the language barrier was there. And for me, any project per se, to be successful, you have to connect with people. I'm a
yeah.
people's person, and to understand the need to explain them how this could help, you need to have that comfort in communication, and we
Hmm.
lacked that. And on top of that, it was a challenging product in technical perspective as
Sure.
well. We did a day level planning in NSPB, which is unheard of. I mean,
Mm.
even if you tell the folks about this in PBCS world,
Mm.
they would not believe it. Uh,
Yeah.
and we were able to successfully deliver. Not only that, we trained them to an extent where they are quite comfortable using system and upgrading adding to it. So the scalability factor of what the true SaaS product has to be
Sure.
was achieved uh, even with the language barrier we had.
Oh,
And that's
fantastic. That's really good. So what's the most rewarding part of your career, do you feel?
Yeah, well, for me, I think I'm typically a curious guy. So the most important thing I expect from any meeting, meeting any new prospective customer is to learn about how they function. And being in this position now or for a few years, working in pre-sales with various companies as well as now in Gooner Technologies, I get to meet people from different walk of life, managing different size of business in different sectors, facing different challenges. And at the end of the day, we are still being using the same tool to provide them the solution and give them the level of confidence in their number to report it and grow their business. So that is the most rewarding part of it, where I, in just last 4 year alone in Guna Technologies, uh, we have had opportunity to work in 16 different sectors, from
Wow.
NGO to manufacturing, retail, defense, and anything and everything under the umbrella. So when a new customer comes and says, our prospective customer comes and says, my business is different. It's kind of a
Mm.
cliche to me because yes, that's what I heard hear
Yeah.
all the time. And that's interesting. And I want to know more about that. Yes. So that's the rewarding part.
Fantastic. So, what could you share with us an unexpected moment in your career, or something funny, or something that you can share with us?
Yeah. Uh, yeah, there are a couple of funny moments. This is not to demean anybody or as
Yeah,
such, but it's a funny word in an IT when you work in the backgrounds.
sure.
So I was hired to lead a support team um, for a very large financial institution who had thousands of users into the
Mm.
system. The first day I got into office, the first minute of the job, there was a CBRT1 issue.
Oh
I
God.
got into the
Yeah.
call and said, "What's the problem?" They said, "Thousands of people cannot log into the system." I logged in and it logged in. I showed them it's everything's fine working. And they're like, "No, we have a screenshot. Everybody is sharing emails." I said, "But yes, but now it's working. I'll check what's the problem it is." Now, after a few hours of digging into it, it was pretty simple, and that the support team had a very short time to uh, load the data and restart the system. I'm talking about obviously Hyperion
Yeah.
solutions,
Of course.
on-prem
Yeah.
systems,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? And being in a financial institution, there's lots of checks and balances, a lot of layers,
Sure.
VPN layers, and so on and so forth. The servers are connected with lots of security. So the person, the junior resource who was restarting the services, saw it says Hyperion services started, planning services started, immediately fired an email that up and running. Everybody, in next moment,
Oh
everybody
yeah.
started logging.
Yeah. Of
And
course.
as you know, it does, Windows,
No.
it does start it takes a couple of
Of
moments,
course.
like a minute
Yeah.
or so, actually start. And in that case, they were having a transition period of 600 users in Asia Pacific and 600 users in EMEA
Wow.
logging in at the same time or getting logged off at the same time. So there was like thousands of complaints. So
No.
although it's nothing, but it sometime. So that's a lesson learned for the person that you have to wait for 2 minutes before informing your customers that everything's good. So yeah, so it's
Sure.
funny, but uh, I mean, looking back, it looks funny, but it's a serious business for so many
Sure.
users to get impacted.
Definitely. So, you started a successful consultancy, expanding rapidly. What was your inspiration behind starting this consultancy?
Uh, so there were many reasons or inspirations which led to start the company. Number one being uh, my father, who was a businessman, uh, manufacturing industry in India. And I was the first in my family to work on IT. And he never understood why I would work under somebody. Why not work for my own? So he would always tell me, even when I was in my early career in data warehousing, he said, "Why do you go and do stuff for others? Why can't you open your own firm and do it?" So that was always in the back of my mind. But the key reason why, or the opportunity to be here, was that I see that was a gap in the market where the small to medium enterprise, the whole sector is being neglected for lack of understanding.
Mm.
It was a simple uh, solution, or it's a simple problem they were facing. But since all the consultancies were always coming down with their enterprise mentality, that
Mm.
they were not able to solve any of the problems which SMEs had, and the customer would always feel neglected. And I see it firsthand in many occasions, and I try to fix it as much as I can. But working on an enterprise, it wasn't that possible because I would have to report 8%
Yeah.
upstream and manage 6 downstream, which is ridiculous for a project because you need more people who's providing solution than asking questions on how we are providing solutions to. So I had a very good dinner with my co-founder of Gooner Technologies, my friend Raju Singh, who's a great friend of mine and a wonderful human being. So one night in Middle East, we were having a dinner together, and we discussed everything under EPM space and what's going on in general IT. And that dinner was the longest I ever had for. It took us 4.5 hours to complete.
Oof.
We were the first in, last out of the restaurant.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And by the night, we decided that this has to stop. I mean,
yeah.
we have to come up with something where we can have be impactful with what we do to the
Yes,
customers and
of
not
course.
to anybody else. So
Yeah.
that's the idea which born out, and we started Gooner Technologies in 2019, and it's been pretty success story since then. So still we follow the same agenda that customer comes first, understand the
Exactly.
customer, our obligation to the customer as well as to our employees, and that's you have to strike a balance and, and take out the rest in garbage.
Okay, thank you. So, of course, the industry is changing. There's a lot of things happening, and it's critical for us to understand what's going on. How do you keep yourself updated and understand what's going on?
Yes. So EPM is a small world per se. Everybody knows everybody or somebody who knows that
Mm,
person.
mm,
So we keep talking, and EPM is uh, I think, one domain where everybody likes to express their opinion and talk
yeah.
about it openly. What's going on? What's the problem? Or what's the solution for? What's going on? What's coming new? So I happen to work with a lot of amazing people who are very passionate about APM and like me. So we every time we pick up a call, we always talk about EPM first, then family
Ah,
next. So it's like the
yeah,
big family is the first family is the EPM, the second is the personal one. So that's how I keep abreast of what's going on, and obviously uh, channels like yours, getting connected to people through other meetings and forums.
fantastic. So, there's a lot of youngsters coming into our industry, also a lot of people learning things and want to maybe come into the industry. What's your advice to newcomers or beginners or thinking about coming to this industry?
Yeah. So I had the opportunity to mentor some of them during my days in different organizations. And I always believe that in EPM, you need to have a good mentor who can explain you
Yes.
what it is first. So you know your understanding of the EPM world better. And then the second most important part to learn is to be a good consultant with the customer,
Yeah.
to understand the need. Don't just go and say, this is the solution which we used to do for XYZ. This is what for you. It's not. It's a management tool. So you need to be very good in understanding the situation of the customer. So yeah, two things. Learn the tool first in the sense the whole EPM, and it's quite different than all the rest. So you learn about it, uh, y- connect with a mentor who can teach you everything or mentor you in all the aspects, including consulting aspect of
Fantastic. So, what's your vision for the next 5 years in this industry? What do you think is going to happen in the next 5 years?
it. Two things I foresee. I mean, this is what fourth generation to me. I started EPM
All
when it
right.
was not even on the web. It was desktop version of it,
Yes,
then the
yes,
web version of it, then the cloud
yes,
on cloud kind of thing. Now SaaS
yeah,
model,
yes,
and now even in pure SaaS model, I feel that AIML was something which it was constant chatterbox that it will be part of it. But I honestly believe that AI is maturing enough to be included in EPM. All these days, it wasn't that prominent. It was just more
Yeah.
arithmetic. Uh,
Yes.
Now I feel that there could be much wider use of AI, and not only that, the traditional EPM structure, there is wonderful ability, functionality uh, to the end user, but that's always has been with an understanding that that's a system built not for users, but a system which can be maintained by the backend team and used by the users. Now see now we are at a stage where it's going to be purely user driven
Yeah.
tools with the AI enablement where they can just
Sure.
type in instead of having a fixed format
Yeah.
solutions to them.
Really, that's really nice. Thank you so much for today. Really learned a lot. And also, it's great to see your insight. Thank you so much. And we'll definitely keep in touch and possibly do other podcasts in the future. Have a good day, Soban.
You too. Thank you for invite, and you have a great day and a
You
good
too.
weekend.
Thank you so
Bye bye.
much. Bye.
Bye.